Right, let me get my notes ready.
This might turn into a therapy session. I don't know. It depends. You know what I mean?
Every conversation I have with a Mandem member on their own at the moment turns into a therapy session, Saint. Every single one. I don't know how I became your group's dad. Here I am.
All right. So, obviously, you know about the whole like situation. You know that happened, right?
With Dean and Stephen and Patar and yeah.
Yeah, and you know like how Patar left or whatever, right?
Yep.
And then, okay, I don't want to like. The thing is, I feel like if I say this, I feel like I'm okay. Normally, Jay is the person I talk to about things like this, right? But unfortunately, I can't really. I feel like I can't talk to him about things anymore because it turns into saying you're just being stupid, or saying you're just overreacting, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
And so I don't know if like if I mean maybe I might possibly be overreacting. You know, I might be overreacting or I may be overthinking it. But I'll be honest, I don't really feel like I'm appreciated or like I feel like I'm overlooked a lot.
Do you mean in the group or
Yeah.
do you mean in your relationship with Jay?
Oh no, I mean in the group.
Okay. I only asked that because obviously you prefaced it with you used to have these conversations with Jay and you feel you can't. So why do you feel you're underappreciated and or overlooked in the group?
Well, I don't know, I feel like ever since like all of this started, right? It's it kind of goes in hand with like the whole like it feels like a power struggle, right? Everybody's trying to be, you know, everybody's trying to be like pick up the pieces where Batar like when Batar left, you know what I mean? And like I get that, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. I have a lot of opinions. I don't feel like I can really say too much because I feel like if I say them, then nobody really agrees with them, or like I don't know. It's just I guess my head's just jumbled a little bit because like there's a lot of things that happen that I feel like it's kind of like a oh well then yeah, I guess let's like for example like so yesterday, right? So yesterday Patar I called James and I was like, hey, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, we're having a meeting with Patar, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then you know it's one of those things where normally like you know we can go to, you know, it's an everybody meeting, right? Maybe it wasn't an everybody meeting, maybe I'm just overthinking it, right? And and then it was like, okay, well, we'll talk to you later. And I was like, oh. And like even you know even like when it was like Tommy and I that weren't in the meeting, and it was like, oh, okay, well, we'll talk to you later, bye. And so I don't know, it's just that was I guess just one of example. And then I was like, okay. And then I guess like I said, just this whole entire like drama thing kind of like happened, and I feel like I don't know, I feel like people just don't think that I'm really worth anything.
But what other than those two instances where there was a meeting that may or may not have been in everyone and they said talk to you later, like what other things have transpired that have made you feel that you're overlooked or not respected?
I guess the overall general like attitude towards me, I guess.
Can you pinpoint that though?
No,
like as in like you know
it's
examples.
kind of like been happening for a while, and I've been feeling like it for a while, you know what I mean? And
I mean, you didn't get your chain not too long ago. I'd say that's a fairly good sign of respect, don't you?
yeah, but I feel like ever since I got it, like I feel like if anything, I feel like the chains kind of like devalued me as a person. And I'll be real, like I'll be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really add anything to the gang. You know, I'm not like an experienced, like amazing, like, you know, when it comes to like, you know, shooting, I'm not an amazing person when it comes to that. I'm not like,
I'd say you're fairly fucking reliable when it comes to shooting, from what I've seen and heard.
I'm not like an amazing hacker. You know, like I can't do banks, I can't hack banks or anything like that. Like, You know, and that's
Also,
something I've
yeah,
wanted to
but
work on, you know?
yeah, but that's you determining your belief of your own self-worth according to a couple of very specific skill sets. The best, most successful gangs in the city are not full of people who are the best fucking shooters and the best fucking hackers. Like that a good gang does not make, and that a good gang member does not make. You are uniquely you. You have the ability to listen to people and hear people in a way others don't. And you are a good problem solver. Whereas, unfortunately, some people in the Mandem are very good problem causers. That is what you bring to the Mandem. The fact that you are also a good driver and also a good shot are bonuses.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the way you kind of like word it is kind of how I felt like whenever I was hanging out with Hydra. Just why I stopped hanging out with them is because I didn't feel like I fit in. And I'll be honest, I don't really feel like I fit in anymore.
Have you vocalized this to people?
No. And like I
Well, I
said,
would
the person I
suggest.
normally like talk to is Jane. You know, if I talk to him about this, he's gonna say I'm stupid, I'm being stupid, I'm
Well, why do you
overthinking it, you
think your
know?
relationship with Jay has changed? That you feel you can't have those conversations with him
I
without
mean,
him belittling you, maybe?
I can tell you he's changed, you know? I mean, just the other day, I mean, like, I get that, like, so, like, whenever, like, we did his whole chain, like, when we gave him his chain, you know? Like, we had this whole entire, like, thing where, you know, Miguel and Raul took my chain, you know, I took, like, helped me hostage and took my chain. But, like, he didn't give a shit, you know? And, like, I get that, like, maybe, like, you know, picking them wasn't the best thing, and they, you know, but I don't know, I at least, like, hope that he'd, like, care, but he didn't.
I mean, you'd hope, regardless of what member it was, someone's chain was taken, that would be a fucking issue.
Yeah. And, like, plus, the last past couple days, you know, like, I would see he would ask me something on the radio, and I'd answer him, but then I get, like, oh, okay, well, never mind. And I'm like, well, what happened? Like, I just answered you, and he's like, well, you have an attitude about you. And it's like, I don't have an attitude. Like, and even, like, James and them are like, what is, you know? And I feel like everything I do just isn't right, you know?
Well, for me, it sounds like you need to have two conversations. One, you've got to have a conversation with Jay about the relationship between you and him. And two, I would suggest you get some time with Patar and first of all, give your view on everything that's happened. And two, explain how since he's gone, or maybe even longer than that, you felt, you know, underappreciated, overlooked, and that,
Yeah.
you know, and that you feel that at the moment like you don't belong. I mean, personally, you know, that make I'm, you know, I'm not even a Mandem member. You know, it saddens me to hear that because I've always, from the minute I've met the Mandem, you were always there. You know, I
Yeah.
see you as much a part of Mandem as I see SK or Matt or anyone else as part of Mandem. I can see that you are a positive influence over there, both with the illegitimate side of shit, but I've also, you know, heard all about you trying to get more involved in trying to save the absolute clusterfuck that is MDMR.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you wanted to take that on for yourself and try and make something of that shows that your fucking head and your heart are in the right place. And let's be honest, not many other people would have put themselves forward to trying to fix that fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah. I
Okay?
don't know.
But equally, there's a lot of shit going on right now. So I
Yeah.
understand why you might feel a little bit like you don't belong because that the glue that held all of you together, I think it's not started to come apart, but there's cracks starting to form, isn't there?
Yeah.
And obviously when that happens, people tend to retreat in themselves a little bit and the atmosphere can change.
It definitely
Now,
did
it's shitty
change,
that it
that's for sure.
happens. Of course it does, because, you know, Dean's been around forever and suddenly he's maybe not around no more for not great reasons, you know? And then, of course, people had two different feelings about that. Some people agreed with Batar and backed him, and then other people, you know, didn't really back him and questioned him. And that obviously caused him to go, you know what, I'm taking a break. Because between me and him had a conversation up here about 2 weeks ago, and he said, if he keeps getting disrespected, he's fucking off, he's going.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was told he'd left, I didn't really need all the context at the time because I knew, well, he must have been disrespected again because I know he told me he was going to go. And of course, it's unfortunately fallen at the same time that Tommy T ain't around a huge amount and SK is on holiday. So it's like the worst time. Because SK can be a very good voice of reason, in my opinion. And he can be a calming factor as much as he can be petrol on a fire if he wants to be.
Yeah. Somebody help me. I don't know. It's just well, I guess I just wanted to talk to about it with somebody before I like did what I did with Hydra and I just left, you know?
No, look, first of all, you don't want to leave, okay? Because I get that you're feeling a certain way, but I think a lot of people right now are probably feeling a bit stressed and a bit unsure about things that they felt very sure about just because of the events that have transpired. So first thing you should do, and if Patara's around right now, and he's normally around this sort of time, is get some one-on-one time with him. I mean, you've earned that and you deserve that. So have one-on-one time with him and express how you're feeling as a member of Mandem. And then have a conversation with Jay about the two of you, because those two things are not related. You know, they are separate things.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess, yeah. I mean, maybe I am overthinking it, you know? It's just one of those things where I don't know. I feel like I would back anybody like in that game. I would 100%, but I don't think they would ever back me, you know?
Then
That's
that is
basically
something
the vibe that I'm feeling, you know?
that is something you got to address as well, because regardless of anything, you know, if you're in a gang or not, I'm a big believer that the people you are closest with, even if you're in the middle of an argument, if something kicked off, I would back any of my good friends. I mean, I'll put it this way. I was with Stephen when Stephen got a phone call from Batar, basically saying, you know, he didn't tell him why, but he said, look, basically, Dean's very likely going to come looking for you. And if you have to defend yourself, you know, it's fully understood. We understand. You know what I mean? You got to defend yourself. You can't just have some guy roll up on you and shoot you and do nothing about it. And Stephen said, there's a chance that Dean might roll up on me today and try something. And my immediate reaction, and the first thing I said to Stephen was, if anyone tries to roll up on you, I will shoot them. Doesn't matter who it is, because he is my friend. And ultimately in life, you need to know that the people you spend most of your time with and the people you invest your time with and your energy, if you are willing to jump into a car and go and kick off for them, you need to know they'll do the same for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me talk to you about it.
Look, rule of thumb with me, Saint, my door is always open for you, sweetheart. All right? Doesn't matter what it is. And equally, if you ever feel that you need, you know, like just a bit of time away doing different things, and you phone me up and say, look, Sol, do you mind if I spend a bit more time with you and the boys, just for like a day or two, because while I try and sort my head out? Fucking open invite. You want to fucking spend time with us, fucking around doing jobs? You're always welcome. You know what I mean? You haven't even got to ask. All you got to do is walk through the door and go, all right, Solomon, I'm here. Perfect. I will know why.
I appreciate that.
Nah, that's right. I've got a lot of time for you, Saint, and you've always been there when I've needed you. So I will always be there when you need me.
I appreciate that. I really do.
That's okay. Now, would you like me to give Batar a tinkle and make sure you two have a private conversation somewhere? Or do you want to handle that yourself?
I'll handle that myself.
Okay. Well, look, let me know how it goes. And if you want to chat afterwards, just let me know, okay?
I will do.
Okay.
Thank you,
Chin up,
Solomon.
all right?
All right.
You are valued, you are seen, and you are loved. Don't convince yourself that you're not.
Appreciate you.
That's right. I'm not adopting you.